The world changes. It's what it do. All right. We went from being cavemen to now being on the precipice of flying to other planets. Currently, we've got a lot of AI developments. Now, I remember in the late 90s, my cousin and I, we had this old computer. His dad bought us this computer so we can learn how to use them. And there was a program called Doctor's Baitso. Who remembers that, right? Show your age. It was a chatbot. It would pretend to be a therapist. And I mean, objectively, it was bad. It was looking at it from modern eyes. It was bad, like just very limited. But that's okay. I mean, that's what it was. It was just somebody programmed a chatbot with responses to questions. There's only so much time a person can put into that. Now we've got these AI programs that, I mean, they are quite convincing. You can talk to one of these as if it's a real human, and I've done it for like half an hour. You just have a conversation. They're amazing, incredible. But do not rely on them for important stuff. Don't actually try to get useful information out of them. They are garbage. Absolute garbage. They're just imagining shit. They're hallucinating. Okay? They just hallucinate answers and say it with conviction. Many times when I'm just curious, what answer will they give me? And I'll pose a technical or difficult question that I already know the answer to. Almost every time the answer's wrong, and they say it with confidence. Just last night, I'm in bed. I've already been out of bed, but I'm back in bed because it's so freaking cold out there. And I've got nothing important to do today. So anyway, I'm in bed. And the reason why I'm in bed is because the light is pretty good out here when I'm lying down. If I stand up, not so great. It's the benefit of being a photographer. You notice these things. Anyway, so last night, out of boredom, I say, give me an IQ test. I studied psychology. I know how they're written. I know how they work. I know how they're scored. I was curious, what would it say or do in that situation? And it said, I can't give you a proper IQ test, such as this and this. It named a few of them. But I can give you a sort of representative process. I can write up some questions, give me the answers, and it will give you a good representation of what the experience is like. And I'll give you a score, but don't take it too seriously because this isn't a proper IQ test. Basically, you need to write the test, give it to thousands of people, do the statistical work, and then compare your test to the other people. It hasn't done that, obviously. I just asked it right then and there. So one of the questions was, Alice, Bob, and Carol have 3 pets between them: a cat, dog, and bird. Alice doesn't have a cat. Bob doesn't have the dog. Who has the bird? And so I'm looking at this question thinking, is this a trick question? If Alice doesn't have, well, any of them can have the bird. Because I can't remember who has the dog and who has the bird, who doesn't have the cat or dog. But let's say Alice doesn't have the cat. That means she could have the bird. One of the others has to have the cat. if Bob doesn't have the dog, he could have the bird. One of the others has to have the dog. And Carol could have any of them. So I said, any of them. I just simply said any of them could have the bird. At the end, it went through my questions and it said, you're right, you're right, you're right. He's a very clever boy. And one thing I kind of disagreed on where it said I was wrong, but I could see why I might have been wrong. But it said, for this question, incorrect, Carol has the bird. And that didn't seem right. So I said, explain. Go through this question. Give me a reasoning, because I'm certain any of them could have the bird. And it goes through the process and says, okay, if this person doesn't have the cat, if Alice doesn't have the cat, then she has the bird or the dog. And then Bob doesn't have the dog, so he's got the cat or the bird. And Carol can't have any of them. And then it really just broke it down. Like, if Alice has the bird, then Bob has the, whatever it was, cat. And then Carol has the dog. And if Bob has the bird, then Alice can have the whatever dog and Carol can have the cat. And if Carol has the bird, then Alice, who doesn't have the cat, she's got the dog, and Bob has the cat because he doesn't have the dog. Done. Any of them can have the bird. And it itself concluded, yes, you're right. Any of them can have the bird. The question is under constraint. I must have thought that maybe this one had the bird because something else, and it just kind of starts backtracking, or whatever it's doing in its computer brain or mind. That's a whole other topic. Like, do they have minds? Do they have, consciousness? Whatever. But it was just wrong. It was just wrong on such a simple thing. And I find this a lot when you ask it. And look, whatever you're really good at, ask them questions, and you'll see that very often they'll be wrong. And now there's all these companies firing their workforce to replace them with AI. We're gonna have a weird time, people. We're gonna have a very weird time where our computer overlords are insisting that things are a certain way when they're not. So, have a good time out there. Have fun with these things. Look, it's fun. AI is fun. They draw some pretty cool little pictures. But it's not, it's far from very useful. Not reliable. I do not trust them one bit. Although, how much would you trust a human as well? Because some of my best friends are human, and those people are sometimes pretty stupid. So, it's going to be a weird time. It's going to be a weird time. Have fun, but don't rely on them. Question everything they say.